Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are so inclined. In today's video, we're taking a look at these, the HS80 RGB Wireless from Corsair. Now these things come in at about 150 quid and they do sport the Dolby Atmos for PC. Let's see if they're any good. So let's get straight in with the mic test. We'll stick with the usual format of just reading stuff from the books because I find it rather funny. But as you can hear, the mic itself is kind of nice. It's got quite a full body to it, and it's not all of that horror that you get with the nasally sound and all of that sort of stuff. But you do knock this now and again, which becomes rather irritating. But anyway, here we go. We'll start with the name. It's the Corsair HS80 RGB Wireless Premium Gaming Headset with Spatial Audio. Now the Spatial Audio is Dolby Atmos, which is rather nice, if I'm honest. It's better than the standard Windows spatial audio that you usually get. But anyway, here we go. So it's a hyper-fast slipstream wireless connection. I never mention the actual connection range with this, because it's different where everybody lives. The moment I leave a room, I'm out of range. There you go. That's the wireless range that I get from this. Immersive, Dolby Atmos, kind of is. Three-dimensional precision audio, custom-tuned, 50mm neodymium audio drivers, broadcast-grade communication microphone. Broadcast grade, much like on the Virtuoso series, I suppose. High fidelity, 24-bit, 96 kHz audio via USB audio. There you are. It is still USB because we are just putting the receiver into the USB, but the mic is pretty nice. I like it on this. For a headset in this price range, we're definitely moving on towards that much more solid mics going forward. And I've said a few times, I feel over the next couple of years, mics that you get with headsets are going to be pretty spot on. But as you can hear, it's pretty nice. Do let me know in the comments below if you disagree, but personally I think this mic is more than passable these days. I think it's definitely at the higher end of headset microphones. But there we are. Let's move on. So what do the specs say? Well, we've got 50mm neodymium drivers that have a frequency response of 20 to 40,000 Hz, but that's not high-res certified, as these are wireless only, and they come in at the standard impedance of 32 ohms. So what does all that say? Well, not a great deal really, but they do sound pretty good. The key feature for me with this headset is the Dolby Atmos for headphones. It sounds very good when you're watching movies, but playing games it seems to compress the audio somewhat, and it makes it very bassy, which kind of washes out the mids and the trebles, which you absolutely don't need because they're the footstep ranges. Now, sadly you can't change anything in the EQ whilst using Atmos. You do have to turn it off manually on your PC, but once you've done that and you're just in standard stereo mode, it seems to broaden the soundstage quite considerably, and the audio becomes very rich, especially when playing on pure direct, just the standard flat. It sounds very rich and very robust, especially when listening to music as well as playing games. Now if I was to watch a movie, as I said, I would use the Dolby Atmos, but for everything else, not so much. It just seems to ruin the sound a bit for me, but the stereo on these is fantastic. So what do we get in the box of the HS80 RGB Wireless? Honestly, not a great deal. We get various bits of paperwork. We get the warranty guide, important stuff. Safety information, equally important. Some pictures and things about the headset and some words. And then we get some branding, all massively integral to the product itself. We then get this, the 1.5 meter Type-C connecting cable. Now this thing's very nice. It's a very lovely looking braided cable, looks all very push. They have this wonderful textured sort of grip around the collar, I suppose it is, for the Type-C and the Type-A connector on this, and the housing for them themselves is just nicely rubberized, sort of premium feel to it, which is very, very nice. Then we have this, the 2.4 GHz slipstream wireless receiver. Again, we've got the textured collar around the Type-A connector for it, and the rubberized housing as well, which is all very pretty. It looks very, very premium. Now I like that there's not a great deal of bump that comes with this. All of the money that's spent on getting extra things in the box is money not being spent on the headset. So, happy days from me, Corsair. Well done. Now in terms of the build quality and design of this headset, there's very little metal to speak of, but we'll just start at the top where we've got the obligatory branding across the headband, which is made from this kind of rubberized plastic material, but that's not to say it feels cheap, because it doesn't. It feels very strong, very snappy, and just goes back into place right away. It's all very, very good. And on the underside of the headband, we've got this sort of Arctis-esque
ski goggle slash suspension design for the headband itself, which is all very lovely. It just spreads the weight of the headset across all of the top of your skull and doesn't just point load right here, which becomes irritating. And you can adjust this on the inside of the headset using this. So they are slightly different to that of the Arctis, but definitely on that realm of comfort in their design. Now the similarities to the Arctis don't necessarily stop there. Coming down from the edge of the headband itself, we've got this remarkably familiar hinge from the Arctis series, which is just one hinge there and another here, which does look like an actual weak point, but I've not experienced any issues with the Arctis range, although I have heard these problems do exist, and I've not heard anything negative about this hinge on the HS80s at all, just to throw that out there. Now, on the ear cups themselves, all of the action takes place here on the left ear cup. You've got your microphone, which just flexes down to take you off mute and up to let you know you are on mute. And then just next to that, we do have the Type-C connector. Again, hooray for Type-C, but it should be a standard now on headsets anyway. So it does offer fast charging. It takes about 3 or 4 hours to be fully charged for these, which is all very lovely. Coming up from that, we do have the volume wheel. Now, this thing moves in increments of about 2%, so there are around 50 zones of volume for you to choose from, and it does press in. You might be able to hear it. Or maybe not. Basically, all that button on the volume rocker does itself is change the EQ or the preset that you've got saved into the software, but sadly, that only works on PC. And just above there, we've got the power switch, which is just a standard depression switch. You hold it in for an unspecified amount of time, and then it will turn on, and a voice will appear very loudly in the ear cup to let you know that you are ready to go. Now, on the inside of the ear cup themselves, there are quite nice things about this. One, the actual shape isn't a full oval. It's kind of squared off a bit, like a rhombus, I would say. But they've taken a leaf out of the Astro book. So the actual foam itself is sort of offset a little bit, and it is a bit higher up here. And when you're wearing glasses with these, there must be a bit of an adjustment to the padding around here, because I couldn't feel any of the arm of the glasses at all. It felt very, very comfortable, which is all very lovely, I suppose. And the clamping forces, it's just right, if I'm honest. Even if I had a wider head, I still feel that these would fit quite nicely. The cushioning you've used is very, very generous, and the material around it is very soft on the skin, which is very nice. A far cry from that of the Virtuoso XT, which is remarkably uncomfortable. But it is quite a nice design. I do like this. I like the way that it moves. I like the way that it flexes about. I like the shape of the ear cups. Now, on the inside of the ear cups themselves, sadly, there is no padding over the driver, but the hole itself to the ear cup is rather small. So for me, with larger ears, I felt no sort of rubbing or anything like that against the driver housing. You may experience different depending on the size of your ears, just to throw that out there. Now, in terms of the materials used, although I do kind of like this rubberized plastic, I think it's very, very durable, and I do kind of like the colour, which is sort of a grey-black. The downside, however, is this thing just picks up grease and dust and dirt and anything that might be around your computer. So if, like me, you like a bit of a snack while gaming, you will definitely get grease on these. So if you are sort of a clean freak, these probably aren't for you. You'd spend more time cleaning them than actually using them. I should also point out they have a little bit of RGB on the outside of the ear cup where nobody at all can see it. But they are quite nice. I do like the way these are put together. They feel very comfortable on the head, which is a definite plus. Now the downside with it is the design of this microphone. Although I like a microphone that's nice and easy to mute and unmute simply by raising and lowering, I don't like that you can't shape this. You can't really get it right for your head, and it's very, very flexible. It's quite irritating at times. But overall, pretty good. And with it being made from the material it is, absolute silence on the rattle test. But there we are. It's a fairly nice, well put together headset. I don't know about this RGB. I just don't see the point. It'll just drain battery life and just be there. And it's probably cost an extra £5 to £10 to add that in. I'd rather just have that reduced from the cost of the headset itself. So would I recommend the Corsair HS80 RGB Wireless? Well, that depends. If you're on console, for instance, then perhaps not. The compatibility of this headset is only with PC, Mac and PlayStation. That's 4 and 5. However, on the PlayStation, you're not going to get the Dolby Atmos. You're not going to get the software to change the EQ. So if you're purely on PlayStation, then no. I'd say perhaps not. For this price, you could probably get something better that's geared more towards the PlayStation itself. But if you're PC only, my recommendation is probably yes. These are a nice headset, they sound very good, the mic quality is very good, and it feels like this headset is moving forward. It feels like a stripped down version of the Virtuoso series. The Dolby Atmos is there, the broadcast quality mic is there, you just don't have all of the obnoxious weight and the uncomfortableness of the Virtuoso, but at the same time you don't get the stunning looks of the Virtuoso. So that's pretty much where you're at with this. So it's a tentative yes in terms of a recommendation from me. I'm sorry if that's not a great deal of help, but I do like the headset. I think it's very nice. I do think it sounds good, as I've said numerous times. But there we are, everyone. There will be a link to this in the description. It is an Amazon affiliate link, so I will get a bit of a kickback should you buy anything via that link. But if you like the video, do leave a thumbs up. If you want to recommend a headset that I should absolutely test, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. I'll try and pick it up as quick as I can. It's not always that easy. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful morning, noon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.